Work. Hello? Oh, can you believe?
Start. How does 4th of July start?
I don't know. 4th of July is great, though. What a great Mariah song. And I advise you that you must listen to it tomorrow to celebrate this country that's falling apart.
I want to say it like I wanted to say it was overcast that day, but that's not it. What song is that? Well, I was feeling some type of way.
It's on Me I Am Mariah. Is it Faded? It's Faded.
Oh, is it?
It's Faded. What
now
a classic piece of...
a classic song. We should have a holiday for Faded. We have a
the
holiday
thing.
created to celebrate Mariah Carey's song 4th of July.
Truly.
We should have a holiday created to celebrate Mariah Carey's song Faded.
I think it's only fair. The thing is, so many holidays are needed to celebrate so many tracks from Mariah. I mean, it's too bad there aren't other artists that are as good as she is. Isn't that too bad?
I think you need to sit down one day and make like a list on your like notes app and be like, which day of the year would go with every single Mariah Carey song.
Wow. This feels like a Matt Steele writing a Spice Girls, all of the songs in order of best to worst BuzzFeed thing. So I don't do shit like that.
You know what? I got time on my hands.
You love a list?
But I don't think you would like my ranking.
Of Mariah or of Spice Girls?
Of Mariah.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. Don't do that.
Because you would be like, March 3rd is Shake It Off? How dare you?
No, I don't want you to do this.
Okay.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Two Gay Mats podcast. It's Matt Palmer.
And it's Matt Steele.
And it's Sunday, June. I almost said January.
July,
whatever.
Ooh.
I don't know what month it is the point of the podcast. July 3rd.
Yes.
The day before a national holiday that none of us feel like celebrating this year. But we're going to celebrate because we love a day off.
Yes.
Even though the country...
I don't have a day off. I work.
Sucks.
Yeah. Well,
I have a day off, and I love that for me. But even though the country itself is falling apart a bit, but I'm excited that after this, we're going to see our friend Corey celebrate him and his birth, and I think a couple of other of their friends' birthdays. And I haven't seen
and
Zach.
I guess my birthday will also be celebrated in this mix.
I mean, are you co-hosting the party?
Well, no. I was going to bring sodas.
Okay. Well, I don't think that means that we're celebrating you, but I mean, you could try to steal focus if you wanted.
I was going to do that anyway.
Okay, good. Well, we're going there after this. And so today I'm glad we're checking in with all of you out there in podcast land and all the people live on YouTube with us now. And Matt Steele, I have a question for you.
Oh, yes. Ask me, please.
How was your week?
My week was great.
Oh, good.
It's so weird. I feel like we just podcasted because like we recorded a day late last time.
Yes.
So there's one less day
True.
in that week. So I feel like it went by really fast. But we both did the same exciting thing this week.
Yes.
We both went to the theater.
We did go to the theater.
the Pantages.
And we went for free.
For free. We were invited by the show itself.
Absolutely.
Matt Palmer and I were on the VIP guest list.
We were.
For Moulin Rouge.
And it's nothing like being called a VIP and then getting on the VIP line and being like, who the fuck are these people?
But I was also in that line being like, who the fuck am I?
I know.
Why am I being asked to be on the red carpet? And when I thought we had to pick our ticket up to see Moulin Rouge at the box office. So I went to the box office and she was like, oh no, your ticket's over, like reserved at the red carpet. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yes.
And so I went to, my date was my coworker Alicia. And so we went over and, right behind us in line is Kendra from The Girls Next Door, from the reality show, from the Playboy reality show, as we all remember. And my friend Alicia is just fearless, and she'll just talk to anyone like they are her best friend. So she was just like, Kendra, how are you? It's good to see you. And Kendra was like, oh, it's good to see you too. And like probably thinking like, oh my God, who is she?
Do I know this
She's
person?
in the VIP line, and so maybe she's famous, so maybe I've met her before, so I have to pretend like I know her. And so Alicia was just like, are you still twerking on TikTok or something or Instagram? And she was like, oh, I'm trying. and so Alicia's just talking her up and everything. And Alicia's just like, Matt, it's Kendra. And I'm like, oh yes, nice to meet you. Hello. And then someone like went to like pull Kendra out of line and go like, oh, Kendra, you can go right to the red carpet. You don't need to wait in line. And Kendra was very nice. She was like, oh, well, I don't want to jump ahead of them.
Oh,
and
Kendra.
So Kendra, that's
Heart of
very
gold.
sweet, but really we are nobodies.
Honestly.
And you are everybody, of course. And so so we get our tickets and they pull like our papers out saying Matt Steele influencer.
That was shocking. When I saw the Matt Palmer influencer paper, I was like, is that what I am?
Is that
how I see myself?
Like, no,
I
it's
don't
not.
think that's right.
What we do does not count. We're just a couple of gays standing in a room and chatting about like the most random things. We were chatting about Kat Graham in the live chat
for much longer than we should have. Sorry for the Kat Graham fan in the chat. But yes, I saw Kendra at the pre-party. So when I was seeing every gay in Los Angeles who has an Instagram following of 1,000 or more at this pre-party getting free drinks, which we like, Kendra was there. And then when we were in line, Janie and I, we were right next to the guy whose name I don't know, but he plays Zoe's brother on Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, the show that I watch very religiously. And so that was fun. And then we get up after, I took a picture with Janie. I think you took a picture with Alicia, but then they pulled us to be alone because we were the influencers or whatever. And then I went to Getty Images to be like, I'm finding these goddamn pictures.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't put the pictures of us with our dates. It's good. Hey, are they saying we don't come across as straight in them? Because I think we could have been.
We don't believe this. This cannot be a girlfriend.
No, these are two girlfriends.
I know, exactly.
Look at us.
And it was weird. They like interviewed me and they were like, why are you excited to be here? And I was like, well, musical theater is my number one passion. And I haven't seen a musical in LA since pre-COVID, so I'm so excited. And they were like, what are you expecting to feel? And I was just like, everything.
Oh my God.
It's Bohemia, darling.
Did you say that?
I did.
That's embarrassing.
Listen, it's what came out of my body at the time. And so I did what I had to do. And so then I get inside the theater, and guess who was like 3 people behind me in line who I didn't notice until I got into the theater. And then she passed me a couple minutes later. My president of SAG, Fran Drescher.
I cannot believe Fran Drescher was there.
Incredible.
I'm so mad I didn't see her. And you saw that Chriselle from Selling Sunset was there as well.
I don't know who that is.
I know, but she's more famous than, not Fran, but than... whoever you
Kendra.
Kendra, yes. So I feel like there were some people of note there. We were not among them, but we were among them.
But we were among them
Exactly.
physically. And the show was wonderful, super fun. Thank you so much, Moulin Rouge, for allowing us to come and for, getting us in that line.
I know. It was fun. And it also was like, by the time, because we had come from the pre-party, we got there on the line at like 7:45. And the thing is, there was such a long line behind us. And I was like, doesn't it start at 8? Like, how are we going to get to this red carpet? We get to the red carpet. No one's being asked any questions. They're just like, okay, goodbye. And we go in and we walk up to our seats. And the guy's literally like looking to his colleagues being like, should we let them in? And I'm like, there's like, I'd say 50 people behind me. So we barely got in. We got in while the guy was already on stage, like looking around, Moulin Rouge opened kind of thing. And I was like, whew, glad we made it to the seats. I did have to go to the bathroom during the first act because there were free drinks. I had 3.
Oh, that's a lot to hold in. And that first act is very stimulating.
It is.
There's a lot of music and
like,
noise coming at you.
It was like every song they performed was either the opening or the closing number. And I'm just glad that like the Lady Marmalade of Yore, which is literally all I know about Moulin Rouge of the movie, was referenced so often, but it did feel like the first 25 minutes were just musical numbers back to back.
Oh yeah, but 5 seconds of each musical number. It was like, remember this pop song? Well, it's done. Next pop song you remember? Well, it's done now.
Exactly.
But it was just like and that's how the movie is. The movie is just like boom, boom, boom. I'm excited to see Baz Luhrmann directed the Elvis movie.
Yes.
And so his movies, are boom, boom, boom. They are stimulating. So I'm seeing that with Corey next week. So I'm excited about that.
I'm hearing differing reports, but like
that's why I'm excited.
I mean, I feel like it's bad, right?
Well, Baz Luhrmann is very much a director. He has such a signature style, and you either love it or hate it. I love that people have such differing opinions on it, so I always go into all of his movies just like, Baz Luhrmann, crazy, So it's very much a style, and I think what was on that stage really reflected that because it was just going and going.
It was really going and going. Did anything else happen to you this week of note? Don't think too long. There's a podcast. We got to keep it going. You can say no. Okay.
Go for it.
After Thursday night, which was lovely, Friday I stayed in, because I was like, we have so many things on the docket socially and like work-wise, and like I'm doing a spin-off podcast, which you may have seen on this feed, with my friend Janie and our friend Glenn about the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip 2, which is really good. I hope you listen to those bonus podcasts and enjoy it. But it's just like a lot to do. And then we also went to Santa Barbara yesterday. So our friends, that's a couple that has like an 11-year-old child who loves to wake up very early in the morning. We went to visit them. They live outside of Santa Barbara. And so I drove around like 4 p.m., hour and a half to get to Santa Barbara. And we weren't able to meet up with them until later, but we did have a lovely meal, little like an Italian moment. You would have been proud. And they have a bocce ball in an outdoor area. It was very good. And then we met up with them later. And since the child was staying up an hour past his bedtime because he was excited to see us, we were like, so does that mean that you're going to sleep an hour later and only wake us up at 7:30 in the morning and not at 6:30 in the morning like you did last time? And he agreed. I was like, my king.
Okay, but still 7:30 is really aggressive.
I know, but you have to count your blessings. And so that's what happened is I woke up at 7:30 this morning, played video games and ate waffles and then saw a bit of Santa Barbara, the city. We drove back, got back at 4 p.m. I cut my hair and put everything together for this live chat we're doing and podcast recording. And now we're here.
And baby, you look great.
Oh my God, I do, don't I? I really...
Alicia, my friend Alicia hasn't seen you in probably like 9 years or something.
It's been a minute.
And she like goes to me. She's like, Matt Palmer looks so incredible now that he's old.
Okay, I've decided to take the compliment from that.
She was like, he looks so and like he looked so good younger too, but now that he's older, she was like, Daddy, and I believe she referred to you as sexy chocolate. Again, which is what she referred to you as the first met.
And I was a patron, and she was, working.
A patron at the restaurant.
The patron at the restaurant, not a patron of 2Gay Mats, which you can become a Patreon by come to patreon.com/2Gay Mats is available. But yes, I remember being at the restaurant and like being confused with my meal as I always am at the counter. And then
just like way to tell everyone where I work.
Wherever you work, and her referring to me as sexy chocolate and me being like, I feel like this is inappropriate. Like, I feel like this is not appropriate. But maybe Alicia's not appropriate. It's not her thing.
Listen, with Alicia, everything everything. You just got to go with it.
I mean, I'm glad she likes the look. I was looking at me when I was young again, like 10 years ago or something. I was like, I guess I do look a little different. It's like the first time in my life that I feel like I do look different than I ever did. And I'm like, is this better? Is this worse? I'm like, it's what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So I'm glad it works for Alicia.
Yeah, and it works for me, darling.
Oh,
and
good.
It works for our millions of fans who we influence.
Yes, millions is right, and influence also right. I also love that I think Braden went back and watched an old video of ours and said very nice things like Braden is wont to do, and then said, also, Matt Steele, you need to thank Matt Palmer for making sure you got that haircut because you look so much better now. And I was like, yes! I'm telling you, there's so few things that I'm like, I fucking did that, but that hair... I did it.
Okay, but what can I do for you?
I mean, just keep the hair up.
I told you to write up to par.
You did, and you said the response was make it bitchier when you heard the first demo. And so we've both helped each other along the way.
The things we have done for each other,
true.
Ladies and gentlemen. We influence each other.
It's true. This is where the real influence comes to play. I can't believe next year it'll be 10 years. I know. We need to
April of 2023. It'll be 10 years since we started 2Gay Mats.
What do we do? How do we celebrate?
Oh God, I don't know.
We'll think about it.
We need to take a nap.
If anyone has ideas, email us, send us a message. I just can't believe.
No.
I'm telling you,
weird.
we are just going to turn into the old gays. Like, we're just going to keep doing this out of habit and then be the old gays and then die.
How many, once we eventually pass on to the next realm, after I'm, 150.
Oh.
And because I will still continue the podcast after you die.
I know that.
How many videos do you think we will have? How much content do you think will be available?
It'll be hours and hours. That's the thing is if we have children, they're going to be like, they're gone, but I really have so much of them here that it's really going to be fine.
Oh, and I'm sure some of the things we said back 10 years ago will not be things to say in 30 years from now, and our kids are going to be like, ooh, Dad.
Before we die, we need to go through the YouTube channel and mute the Rihanna video and honestly, until, if one of us becomes famous or when we die, this is when we have to go through and be like, okay, that Ariana Problem video, I'm bitchy in, we have to remove it.
I already removed it.
Did you really? Good.
Because we're both really kind of
nasty,
needlessly bitchy
right.
in it. And looking back on it, I'm just like, this isn't a good look for either of us.
Wait, but did you delete the Rihanna? The Rihanna one you didn't, because we still get comments on that.
Oh, we still no. That one's not. But the thing is, we're not The thing is, all we say in that is just like, I don't like the song, and you're just like, I don't like the violence in the music video.
Yeah.
So I don't think those are horrible things to say.
That's not that bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. I love that you've deleted some videos and I would
only that
never
one.
know.
I was just like,
This isn't it.
Because the thing is, we're like, oh, we have some criticisms for the music video, but like at the end of the day, it was just like, we were kind of just like grumpy in it.
I was
like,
in a bad mood. I was tired. Okay, so should we jump into News for Idiots? There's not a boatload of news this week, but we can discuss.
Let's
if you're ready to
discuss. Let's go.
Let's start with the happy stuff. So guys, Beyonce has done something kind for all of us. On June 30th, she updated her profile picture across all her socials, tweeted out and Instagrammed out the cover of her new album, Renaissance. If you have not seen it, she is on a see-through horse.
It is a disco ball horse.
Oh, yes. I saw someone.
Because for days I was like, oh, it's like a glowing white light horse. Like that's beautiful and everything. And then literally like days later, I was like, wait a minute. And I zoomed in and I was like, wait, it's a disco ball horse.
It's amazing. And
stunning.
Wearing very like kind of like chain links in lieu of clothing, like maybe where a bathing suit would be. She looks unbelievable. She looks so regal sitting atop this disco horse. It's glorious. It's beautiful. I love it.
She's recreating the Vogue pose that she did on the one horse and everything. And someone posted online, there are 4 pictures of her with horses out there in the world. And like each one's color scheme is mimicking a painting called Renaissance or something like that.
Interesting.
And so people are like, was this intentional? Or like a painting that represented some sort of like biblical reference to a Renaissance. I don't know. I don't know what the history is.
Has she been dropping Easter eggs all along?
Guys, it's fun to think she has.
It really is. And I love also, she gave us words. She never says anything to us. So the fact that she had a caption for this picture when posting Instagram was really exciting for me. Creating this album allowed me a place to dream and to find escape during a scary time for the world. It allowed me to feel free and adventurous in a time when little else was moving. My intention was to create a safe space, a place without judgment. Gasp! A place to... free of perfectionism and overthinking, a place to scream, release, and feel freedom. It was a beautiful journey of exploration. I hope you find joy in this music. I hope it inspires you to release the wiggle. Ha! And
release the wiggle.
Release the wiggle and to feel as unique, strong, and sexy as you are. I feel like we are getting the album that I've always wanted from Beyonce.
Yeah.
I want her, I feel like I say this every week, I want her to travel through time with the dance music. I don't want it just to be early 90s like Break My Soul was, and I have a feeling we're going to get it.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Yes.
That's an incredible idea.
Yes. Travel through time, talking about like dance music that came from Black people, like we're gonna get it all.
Ooh.
I'm just guessing, obviously, but I'm ready for it.
Speaking of Black people,
Okay.
I like rewatched so much of Black is King over this past week. We don't talk about this enough.
We don't talk
about
as a
Black
culture.
We
do. Y'all don't.
Y'all don't.
Yes.
What a fucking film.
It's a
stunning
masterpiece.
from top to bottom. Everything about it is incredible because I fell into watching more videos of it because one of the directors on Black is King is directing the new Color Purple movie. Obviously there was video of like video footage of like what the Color Purple like on set experience looked like.
Wow.
And so I was just like, I'm so excited for the Color Purple. Let me look up this director and everything. And so I fell into more Black is King videos and everything. I was like, I need to sit down again and watch it all the way through.
Good for you.
Again, in the dark by myself, speakers blasting. I need that. I should have done that on my birthday. I shouldn't have invited all y'all over. I should have just like done that by myself.
I would have watched it with you.
No, by myself.
All
I
right.
want this experience by myself.
Well, I've been going through and showing Beyonce's filmography to Jackson, my boyfriend, because he had not seen Self-Titled, he hadn't seen Lemonade, and so we've gotten through those two. Next up is Black is King.
Oh, I'm so excited for you guys.
And I also saw someone did like an edit of a lot of the Black is King visuals over Break My Soul, just like a good TikTok of it, and it is just... It's because, we need a video for that song and we don't have one. And every single shot, even the shots that are 1 second long, are so beautifully arranged, so beautifully curated. She looks gorgeous. Everything in the scene is unbelievable. It just is so beautifully well thought out. It's a masterpiece.
That was one of the things that we talked about with Black is King. It's just every single solitary shot, every frame of that film is like a portrait, a beautiful, stunning portrait that takes your breath away. So it's like, how much more footage is there that didn't make this?
I need all of it.
Like, how long were they filming? How much money was invested in this?
I know.
It is, y'all, if you have not seen Black is King, which I'm sure many of you have,
Just
Please.
watch it, especially before whatever visual we're getting for this album, because I know we're getting one. I don't know what it's going to be or how we're going to get it, but it's going to be here. So I would prepare yourself by watching Black is
I'm
King.
so excited that Renaissance has an album cover that's not just like Act 1 Renaissance, which like was iconic in
Yes,
its own way. But
of course.
because I was like, oh, that's the album cover.
Oh, I
Okay,
didn't think that.
that's fine and
Yeah.
everything. But then when she finally released this album cover on the horsey,
Yeah.
I was just like, that's what we want. That is just an iconic image. It's
is.
simple. It's clean. It's Beyonce.
It's Beyonce. And speaking of Beyonce, she debuted at number 15 on the Hot 100. This is only with 3 days of tracking. So next week, the rumor she could jump into the top 5. Exciting stuff.
Let's do it. Keep streaming it, guys.
Yes, everyone keeps streaming because honestly, that song gets better and better the more I listen to it.
It's
I love
great.
it. In more positive news, R. Kelly has been sentenced to 30 years in prison
Well,
for systemic sexual abuse. I love when people get sentenced sentences that make sense for the crime. They can't wiggle themselves out of it. And it's like, I feel like so many people want to wash over what R. Kelly did. Like same in the Bill Cosby way, like, oh, but his music XYZ, every R&B song from the 90s, blah, blah, he was involved with. I don't give a fuck.
oh, what
No.
R. Kelly has done is just fucking insane and monstrous.
Disgusting.
And,
If you watch that documentary and feel bad for this man in the slightest, then you have no soul. Or you hate black women. That's the two options.
well, I guess his house will be for sale.
Yes, so-
since we're influencers, maybe we can pull our money.
Yeah, we'll
and-
pool our money, sage the shit out of it, and
Yeah.
purchase. And more good news, Cameron Diaz is unretiring for a Netflix movie.
That's
with
great. I didn't
Jamie
know
Foxx.
she was retired.
She retired apparently in a couple years ago, not that long ago. I want to say
So she took a vacation. Is what
she
we're saying.
said it was retiring, and then Jamie Foxx has this little video on his Twitter where he's talking to Cameron Diaz and convincing her to, this is obviously fake, but convincing her to like unretire, and then gets Tom Brady on the phone to be like, I can talk to you about unretiring because he retired and I'm retired.
Cute.
It was cute but stupid, but I'm happy to see Cameron Diaz because you know how I feel about the holiday.
Oh, you do
know
love
how
the
I feel. I
holiday.
mean, there's nothing I'd rather do. Whenever it's Christmas time, the holiday.
Cameron Diaz is great. My best friend's wedding, her performance is so great.
I've actually never seen it.
Oh,
I've
my
seen
best
the
friend's
clips.
wedding- My best friend's wedding is great.
I need to see that.
It's great.
Yeah, I feel like my two Christmas movies are The Holiday and Family Stone.
Okay.
They're the ones.
Well, I mean, my best friend's wedding isn't a Christmas.
No, I know, but she's Christmas to me.
Okay.
She's Christmas to me. It's true. Did you hear about this? That Ricky Martin is getting sued for $3 million. His ex-manager says she saved him from a potentially career-ending allegation. And supposedly the allegation has to do with domestic abuse. That Ricky Martin was maybe abusing someone he was with prior to. I think he is now married and with children, but I think he is now being sued, or there's like allegations against him regarding domestic violence.
I don't like that.
I don't like that at all.
Wait, so why is she? I mean, obviously that's horrible if it is true.
Yeah.
But what is her case against him?
Her case is Drucker, Martin's manager from 2014 to 2018 and 2020 to 2022, says that she saved Ricky Martin's career. Martin has now threatened Rebecca and is attempting to force her to sign an agreement with a non-disclosure clause to silence Rebecca about the abhorrent behavior by Martin that she has both witnessed and endured. She wants Martin to know that she won't be silenced regarding his toxic work environment and reckless indiscretions. She references a particularly ugly incident in Dubai involving Martin and his representative, Jose Vega, non-payment of taxes, and Martin's substance abuse as things to bring up if he doesn't settle. So it's like, it seems like you've
she's
already brought it
bringing him
up.
up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeesh.
I hope everyone finds the help they need.
I hope everyone finds help. And I hope that that's not true. And if it is, I mean, I have to turn on Ricky. It's hard because how many like gay pop stars are there? But like, you can't be doing shit like that.
No, you can't. Oh God. Oh, get to the next one.
All right, the next one.
Something not to do with abuse.
I told you we don't have a lot of news. Chris Pratt doesn't like to be called Chris, and he says he's not that religious.
He wants to be called Christopher.
I truly
wants to be
don't
called
know.
Chrissy?
What do they call you? Pratt? Yep, Pratt.
Oh, no.
CP.
No,
You know,
no.
CP. Hey, CP. Pratt or CP.
No, this article's just gone from confusing to actively bad.
It's
Like-
like idiot. It's like he's trying to become more likable because he's seen the tweets. He sees that people don't like him, and so now he's like, I'm not actually even that religious. Like religion's done really fucked up stuff, and it's like, Chris, like please, like it's too late. You've shown us who you are, and like that's fine. Just stand. I'd respect you more if you stood by it. I'd still be like, you're kind of a piece of shit because like you probably go to a church that hates gay people, but.
Why don't you just go to another church?
Go to another church.
There's lots of churches out there that are, a denomination similar to yours.
Well, you better talk to CP.
Oh,
you
no.
better talk to Pratt about it.
That's the aggressive part. It's just like, oh, you know what'll make me more likable to the gays? Saying that I like to be called Pratt.
I know. Or it's just like
it just reminds all the gays of all the bullying they've endured in high school or something
right.
like that. Because it's done by a guy who would be referred to by their middle name.
Right.
I mean, I was also referred to by my middle name for a very long time. But
well, wait, Pratt's not his middle name; it's his last name.
Oh, last name. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Last name.
Yeah. And I mean, we refer to you by your last name here because we're both named Matt, so that's no one's problem.
No, but that's true. But when I was younger, people would be like, steal, and I would be like, this sounds aggressively straight for me.
I just remember when people would call my house and be like, hey, can I talk to Palmer? Meaning my brother. And I'd be like, we're all named Palmer. Click. I wouldn't actually hang out, but I did say, we're all named Palmer.
That's
like, you fucking
so
idiots.
funny.
Like, you meathead morons calling me with this. Anyways,
How dare.
I can't tell. Okay. This is already out there, so I don't feel like I am spreading this, but there's a rumor going around that Taylor Swift allegedly planned to come out as bisexual in 2019. The only reason I'm really talking about this is because I said that. I was like, this whole lover thing, the fact that she had her hair dyed in the bisexual flag, like it felt like this was leading up to that, and it just
was her hair
happened.
dyed in the bisexual flag?
Yes, in
when?
the You Don't Need to Calm Down video. Her hair is the bisexual flag. Look, I don't want to out this girl. If she doesn't want to be out, then like that's fine. No need.
Of course, but what is this article saying? Like
the article is saying Taylor Swift TikTok is buzzing with a revelation from a staffer who used to work at an LGBTQ nonprofit in New York. His high-ranking boss revealed to him that Taylor Swift was allegedly planning to come out as bisexual at the Stonewall Inn in June 2019. She apparently commissioned a rainbow dress from designer Christian Siriano for the occasion. However, in June of 2019, was also when Scooter Braun revealed to the world that he acquired Swift's masters. To prevent him from profiting off the additional streams of her music that any public coming out would bring, she decided to stay in the closet until she re-recorded her albums. Just a rumor, right? Except that Christian Siriano himself made a TikTok in which he seems to confirm this. He basically, there's a rainbow dress that Billy Porter wore that like at around that time that had like white skin, like it looked like it was nude, but the nude was white. And so on Billy Porter, it's like, why is his nude white? Mm-hmm. Because the dress was originally for Taylor. Okay. There she is with the bisexual flag hair.
Oh, that is bisexual flag hair. And, okay. I've never seen that.
It's in the video. You've seen it. It's in
okay,
the
well, I don't remember it. Okay, I remember her dressed as a pair of French fries and a cheeseburger or whatever.
Okay, a lot of the comments under this article are like, it's still fucked up. This is outing her. Why are we reporting this? Why did Christian Siriano repost this, giving credence to what's being said? I get that. I would never want to out her or anyone else. I am just saying I called it.
I don't want to say that it's right, but I just want to say that I'm right.
Exactly. It's not about what's being done. And also, it's already been done. I am just relaying the news.
We're just reacting to it, guys. We're just influencers.
We're just influencers. But I just, do you remember me being so on the train of
you
like.
were so hardcore. Like, I want her to be bisexual. And she's bisexual. I know it. I know she's bisexual.
I could feel it.
Maybe she's pansexual.
That's great.
Don't push bisexual on her if she's pan.
Look, that is the bisexual flag.
Okay.
But yes, I'm not pushing anything on her. If ever she wishes to come out, I can't wait to support her.
Oh, man.
All I'm saying is that I love, we didn't have a lot of real news, so we got to dive into some conspiracy theories.
You want to know something crazy?
Yes.
Like 2 weeks ago, I met someone who works for the company that arranged her to sing at Stonewall. And so I highly doubt.
Are you in touch with them, or like you just meet at a party?
I can.
You
and
must
so I can
them.
And be like, hey, did you know about this? I doubt they did, because like I feel like if she were to come out at Stonewall, then it would sort of like be a surprise for even maybe the people arranging it or something like that. But like, and so. The only information I got from this person was he works for a company that like arranges this kind of stuff, like live performances and everything. Yeah. And he said of all of the clients that he works with, Taylor Swift is by far the nicest one.
Wow.
So that's some nice news about Taylor.
I love that.
Guys, Taylor Swift is confirmed to be nice.
I love that this is what the news has become on this podcast. Taylor Swift, nice. But I like that. But so wait, she did perform, or like she spoke at the Stonewall Inn? She did perform at the Stonewall Inn. Got it.
Yes. So.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, we'll see how this all goes. So let's just talk about one last piece of news before we go to break. The Friends creator, Marta Kaufman, who has long been criticized for the show's lack of diversity, and have made a $4 million apology. So the co-creator, Marta Kaufman, made a $4 million apology. She pledged the full amount to her alma mater, Brandeis University, to fund an endowed chair in the school's African and African American Studies department, one of the oldest in the country. It took me a long time to begin to understand how I internalize systemic racism. I've been working really hard to become an ally and anti-racist, and this seemed to me to be the way that I could participate in the conversation from a white woman's perspective. I've learned a lot in the last 20 years. Admitting and accepting guilt is not easy. It's painful looking at yourself in the mirror. I'm embarrassed that I didn't know better 25 years ago. I'm mostly mentioning this because everyone shits on Friends for being very white, and it is. And I'm not arguing it's not.
But see, here's the thing, like, every TV show it was like all like it was like because it was like there were channels that like cater to a white audience and channels that cater to a black audience, like and so like the shows were very separate and everything. There were like the white shows and the black shows. And Friends was one of the white shows.
It was.
And so it wasn't an uncommon thing, but it's because Friends has endured and lasted through the generations that people still talk about.
And I feel like because it was set in New York and it was
there's that too. Yeah,
it's the Real Housewives of New York problem. It's like, how are you all in New York? You've been here for 10 years and like there have been 2 black side characters, including Sherry Shepherd. But yes, so I just am excited that Marta Kaufman did something to try and, make a little bit of reparations on this. I love that for her. And also, there are shows now that are really great, like Succession, that are very fucking white. So I feel like people pick on Friends a lot, and there are a lot of shows that should be less white, and a lot of shows are getting better about it. But
I feel like those, like something like Succession, like that is a show commenting on fucking white richies.
It is.
Like it's like, oh, look at these fucking rich white people. Like, God, they're insane.
I know, but like you could make that argument for a lot of things. So I'm just saying, I just think Friends gets a lot of heat. As someone who likes Friends and is black, I would this felt like a story for me.
Well, they were waiting for your apology.
All right.
Or your forgiveness.
All right.
That's what
and I forgive.
Okay.
So Matt Steele, is there any other news for idiots we need to talk about this week?
Nothing has happened this week.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break and then we'll be back with more 2 Gay Mats, the podcast.
All right, guys.
We're back.
These email my hearts are real long, but they're real important.
They are.
I'm going to try to paraphrase.
Everyone get their notepads out.
Yes, because none of these are questions. These are all serious suggestions.
What is Email My Heart?
Email My Heart is the section of the podcast where we answer any questions that you guys might have. You can be a part of Email My Heart if you email us at 2gaymats@gmail.com, 2 spelled TWO.
Yes.
We are answering no questions here because both of these emails are about how to get Democrats elected to Congress and to governorships and to every other election until the end of time. First email comes from Kathleen. Ways that listeners can help Democrats add more seats to the U.S. Senate. Thank you for mentioning how important it is for us to organize to help take more seats in the U.S. Senate so we can fight off Mitch McConnell's and Kevin McCarthy's plan to ban abortion nationwide at their first opportunity. I could go on about how overturning Roe versus Wade will kill people and how rigged the game is, but you said it all. Thank you for speaking up. The Republican Party and SCOTUS are gradually turning our democracy into evangelical Christian theocracy, and it seems they are determined to roll back the rights of anyone who is not straight, white, Christian, cisgender male. I'm worried we are only seeing the beginning. The threats against Griswold versus Connecticut, Lawrence versus Texas, and Obergefell versus Hodges are surreal, frightening, and bone-chilling. I work in politics, and I previously managed a political campaign for my state. Kathleen knows what she's talking about,
she
folks.
does.
For anyone who hasn't volunteered for a campaign before, it's surprisingly easy to get involved, and it can be really fun and a great way to make incredible friends who believe in the same things you do. Here are a few basic principles to know. The most effective way to win an election is through direct voter contact. According to research, it takes an average of 7 contacts to secure a vote. The most effective forms of direct voter contact in order are door knocking, also called canvassing, phone banking, and handwritten letters or postcards, and mailers. I'm not sure where text banking falls on the list. I have also read that on average, a campaign has to spend about $20 to secure 1 vote. But I'm sure that number has gone up with inflation. That was my poor attempt at a joke. Okay, I mention all of this because I think if the campaign process is somewhat demystified for listeners, they may feel more empowered to act. Winning an election seems a lot less hopeless and a lot more possible when you have a very clear sense of what to do in order to win. I encourage your voters to knock on doors with their friends, have postcard writing, letter writing, text banking, and or phone banking parties with their friends too. I'm a big fan of getting a group together, eat, drink, and write postcards.
Yes.
Right now I am planning what I hope will be the first of many postcard parties between now and November. That sounds like fun. Resources. Vote forward, votefwd.org/swing left, which is how you can write letters. Defendchoice.org, activateamerica.vote, turnoutpack.org. Those are all websites to check out. If you are shy and introverted, then the idea of knocking on doors or phone banking can be incredibly intimidating. I am shy myself, and I always find that knocking on doors is a little scary at first. However, I have learned through experience that shyness is just an anxiety that I can challenge and reduce through exposure therapy. That is door knocking. You can also go with a friend. It makes things easier.
Yes.
I've had wonderful conversations through canvassing, and it can be food for the soul. And if you are shy, you can always do what I did during lockdown of 2020, which is drink white wine and watch a Jennifer Lopez rom-com while simultaneously writing letters to voters. I also call that food for the soul. Thank you again for everything you do. Put a smile on my face with love and gratitude. Katie. Katie, you are absolutely right.
She gets that.
I actually worked a job where I had for a little bit before I moved to LA that dealt with it helped do surveys for people receiving SNAP benefits and food stamp benefits and everything to see how the SNAP benefit was working and everything. So I've had one of those jobs where I like cold call people and like have to interview them and talk to them on the phone. And when you first do it, it is really... It feels like it's going to be way scarier than it is.
Yeah.
Like when you start doing it, you're just like, oh, this is nothing.
Yeah.
Like, and sure, you get some people who are kind of rude to you on the phone, but you're just like, like, what are you going to do? Like reach through the phone and strangle me? Like you can't.
Right.
You know,
I canvassed before I believe it was a midterm election for Katie Porter, and that was not bad. It was fun. It was still this is like not something I would normally do, but it felt good to be active and to feel like you were making your voice heard and pushing the agenda that you want, which is democracy. It also is scary to me. Like, it's something that maybe I don't know if this is helpful or not helpful, but I saw like a nightmare scenario of the Supreme Court. This thread from a progressive guy was talking about how the SCOTUS is seeing actual like cases that are essentially like the electors can just vote for whoever the fuck they want regardless of what the votes actually are. And the fact that they're seeing this kind of points that they're going to try and rig the next election. And it's like, okay, I can't get there. Like if this all happens, we need to sound all the alarm bells, but the alarm bells need to be sounding now. Whatever you can do to save our country from complete collapse, we all have to do it. It's all our responsibility. There are so many people that are trying to truly ruin the country because they know that their numbers are dwindling. Like there are just going to be fewer GOP members as time has gone on, and they're going to do everything they can to cheat and to rig. And I mean, the options are fix it or leave, and I don't want to leave. I like my apartment.
I mean, I did.
I like it. We made it nice in here.
The mansion,
yes.
guys. I did see like an encouraging poll that said that 70-something% of Democratic voters are more eager to go out and vote after this Supreme Court decision,
That's good.
whereas only like, I think it was like 30 or like 20% of like Republican voters are more eager to go out and vote after this decision. So like that like made me breathe a little bit and be like, okay, people are energized and they know that voting is important. Know which states are important in terms of Senate races, as I said last week, like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and I know Florida is a very important state. Val Demings is awesome. She's running for Senate. Get Marco Rubio out of there. Val Demings. I know she was like one of the candidates to be like vice president, Joe Biden's vice president. So next email is a similar topic. It's from our dear friend Brian.
Hey, Brian.
How to beat white radical Christian supremacists in swing states. This may not be appropriate for the cast. It is. But after listening to your justifiably angry rant about those religious extremist Supreme Court fuckheads, I figured your followers may want to know one method of political action that is easy to do from home, proven effective, and helps get good people elected in swing states that we may not live in. It's writing letters to voters in those states. So same idea as Kathleen. He also recommended voteforward.org. That's forward FWD.
Yes.
Just so you know. And he also, another website, postcards.org. cardstovoters.org.
Okay.
It's fun, easy, and it makes an actual difference, and it will make you feel better than depressive doom scrolling. I do not represent those organizations in any way other than volunteering to write for them in my spare time. I can put in as little or as much time as I want. It's easy to sign up and follow the basic instructions. Just wanted to let the Cathys know about this simple and effective form of political action in case they were not aware. We've got to do everything we can to get that Democratic majority in the Senate and save our democracy. Stay strong. We love Brian. Brian's about to have a baby, folks.
Yes.
So do it for the baby.
And that baby might be born on the Beyonce album release day.
Yes.
Iconic.
I know.
Birthday, honestly.
Guys, that's a special baby.
Can you believe?
Save democracy for Brian and Blythe's child.
For sure.
Please.
So, Matt Steele.
Yes.
Question for you.
Oh, yes.
What has been giving you moments, darling?
Guys, Marcel the Shell with shoes on.
I need to see this.
Is the most beautiful movie I have seen in years. It is so funny. It is so heartwarming. It is so original and unique and visually brilliant. And just the way the story is told is just so fascinating and interesting. Like, if in case you don't know, there was a short film out in 2010 called Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, and it was written by Jenny Slate from Broad City and voiced by her and directed by Dean Fleischer Camp.
Is Jenny Slate in Broad City?
Isn't that the Broad City girl?
No.
Oh, never mind.
She's on Big Mouth.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Sorry, I get those shows confused. Even though one's animated and one's not. Whatever. So anyway, it was written by her, voiced by her, directed by Dean Fleischer Camp, and it was a video that I watched all the time in 2010 and quoted with my friends. If you've never seen it, it's just a little seashell, and he has shoes, and he just talks about like his life living in a big house, being a small shell, and he's just like, you know what I use as skis, a pair of toenail clips, like a pair of like toenails from a man. Like, it's just so adorable. And so fast forward to now, 12 years later, they made a movie out of it, again written by like Jenny Slate, directed by Dean Fleischer Camp. It is like, I feel like I experienced every emotion you could possibly feel in this movie. I laughed so hard. I cried so hard. It is beautiful. The voice work by Isabella Rossellini, this like famous actress who I've always loved as the grandmother, is just so beautiful. Jenny Slate's performance is so great. Dean Fleischer Camp is in it for like a little bit. He's like, the way it's told is like documentary style.
Okay.
It's about Marcel the Shell. He lives in this house with his grandmother, and who is also a shell.
Yes.
And the house is now being used as an Airbnb. And so Dean plays a guy who, I guess, goes into the Airbnb after like a divorce, and he discovers, oh, there are these seashells that talk. And so I'm going to like film a documentary where I interview them.
Oh.
He discovers that there used to be many more of them. There was a shell community and like a community of like little trinkets that like, you know, you find in your pocket, like crackers or like there's like a tampon and like little things. There was a whole community, but then they got lost. I will not explain how, but they got lost. And so Marcel is looking for his family. Guys, like, I would give anything for this to get Oscar nominations, especially for like screenplay and director. Like, I would love for it to get a director nomination.
Wow.
But like, it's released through A24. It is just playing locally now. I think just in like LA and New York. I think it opens in Boston next week, maybe. I know it goes wide like in a couple days.
Okay.
I forget when, but in a couple days. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. It is everything you could possibly want in a movie.
Wow.
And I showed the trailer to Alicia as we were like eating before the show. Yeah. And she was just like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Why can't you just see normal movies? And I'm like, what's a normal movie? And she's like, you know, like Marvel.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, and what else? And she's like, I don't know. Like, those are normal movies. Just those. Those are normal movies. And I'm just like, there are many other normal movies out there. And Marcel the Shell is one of them. They're all normal movies, guys. I
missed the Marcel the Shell train when those YouTube videos came out. I just watched 2 of them the other night for the first time. I'd never seen those short film things. I'm very excited for the movie. Marcel is.
Oh, Jackson's going to die.
Oh, he's already obsessed with. He was the one who showed me Marcel the Shell. He's been talking about Marcel the Shell for a long time. I think he has a book, and I'm just like, I don't know what this is. But
this
now,
is a Jackson movie.
I've fallen in love. I just listened to Jenny Slate on a podcast, and she is so lovely, and I want good things for her. And yeah, I can't wait to see it.
I can't say enough good things about it.
Wow.
Everyone see it. I'm telling you, Jackson will die. He will die in that theater.
Okay, well, I hate to be that guy, but I don't really have one.
Oh, no.
I can give you little things that made my week okay. Southern Charm premiered, and there are more black people than have ever been on Southern Charm or Vanderpump Rules before.
That's a win, guys.
Vanita is a main cast member, and Catherine at this point is dating a black man named Caleb, last name Ravenel, because it's a long, supposedly his family, whatever. It's a long story. Watch the show. It's great. And I'm glad that the first episode was fine, but I'm just excited that Naomi, who was Craig's ex girlfriend from early seasons, who always like berated him, was so mean to him, is back. And God, I love her. She's so great. She is smart. She's together. She was dating this man who, like, they moved to New York together. He was seemingly perfect, was a doctor, was so hot. They were moving to New York together. She's like, I moved beyond all of you and all of this. She gets there in New York for 10 days, finds out that he has been aggressively cheating on her.
Oh, aggressively
for maybe years, and has to move back to South Carolina, or Charleston, South Carolina, with her tail between her legs, and like beg for her job back on this show after she'd very publicly quit and been like, this is disgusting and what an awful place to be. And she's back, and I'm like, I love you. And I just feel for her. I'm so sorry that happened.
No pride, no shame.
No. Sometimes you just got to beg for your job back. It's very real. I also am just happy to report that I got a new clock for this room. You can't really see it in the picture, but if you turn around Matt Steele, you'll see there's a clock there.
Oh, guys, rose gold.
And I feel like this room is coming together more and more. I appreciate that. And lastly, I just want to give a shout out to, and this is going to sound old or sound lame, but guys, there's nothing better than a good night's sleep. I love having a great restful moment. I feel like this summer and this last few weeks and the upcoming weeks are going to be very packed for me socially, work-wise. I want to get music done. I want to get podcasts and videos done. Beyonce's coming out. We have a lot to do around that. Yeah. But there's no better feeling to me than, I slept a full 8 to 10.
Oh man, you're really thinking about that extra hour you got with that kid, huh?
I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about the sleep I'm going to get tonight because I don't have to wake up tomorrow. I feel so strongly about quality of life. And I feel like so many people are like of the hustle contingent, like work, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I've never been asleep when I'm dead. I'm sleeping tonight.
That's a beautiful way of putting it. I love how you're giving me moments were so simple. It was like sleep, a clock, black people on TV.
Hey, some things make me happy, and those three are on the list.
It says simple little things will do. It's a great song from 110 in the Shade. It's a great musical.
Oh, we did that in high school.
You did 110 in the Shade?
We did, but I wasn't doing the shows anymore because I didn't get the parts I wanted, and it was my senior year, and I was like, you guys can all go fuck yourselves.
Love 110 in the Shade. Old Maid, Audra McDonald's performance of the song Old Maid, the Act 1 closer in 110 in the Shade. Seeing that live, I will never, ever, ever, ever forget that. That was my first time ever seeing Audra McDonald live. And I remember sitting in that theater just being like, I get it.
Wow.
Fucking legend. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant song.
Okay.
Also, before we stop the podcast, I want to warn the Cathys. This is the last week of the podcast before Big Brother starts. So we're going into a new Big Brother season. Just to let you know, the cast hasn't been announced yet, which is it's being announced the day before the season starts. I know. We think that it's because everyone's like, it's because casting has some sort of like weird secret twist that they're going to throw at us. Like it's going to be another all-star season or all returnees or something like that. But we're all kind of just like, no, it's probably just because they want to like make sure everyone doesn't have COVID. And like last year, a girl was announced as being a cast member like a week prior, and then like 5 days later, it was like, never mind, she has COVID. We're replacing her with my girl Claire. And so, of course, the rumor is that like she is back. She's going to be in the cast this season. And,
that's cute.
But it's just weird. The Big Brother fans are very starved for information right now, so we're very on edge. But yeah, just so you know, Wednesday, Big Brother starts. If you would like to know what the hell I'm talking about whenever I make my Big Brother rants, why don't you tune in? Can't
And-
promise it's going to be good.
I'm excited for you to get the Big Brother podcast together. I believe
Oh,
you
God.
can do it, and the people want it.
I'll have to think about
Just
it.
think about it.
have to
I want
think
it to
about
be
it.
more real than it is currently, and I think it's time to consider.
Okay, because
All right?
I do need space to vent.
You do, and I don't know
talk.
what you're talking about.
Yes,
You know?
exactly.
So, well, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. We'll be back next week with more Two Gay Mats, the podcast.
Bye.
Bye.